Hidden deep within the windswept grasslands of southern Alberta, surrounded by sky and silence, lies a mystery carved into stone. A circle, a wheel, a structure so ancient, so precisely designed, it leaves even the most seasoned archaeologists and astronomers puzzled. It's called the Majorville Medicine Wheel, and it may be older than Egypt's pyramids, and even Stonehenge. For centuries, it was whispered about by the indigenous peoples of the plains, a sacred place, a ceremonial site. But to the modern world, it was virtually unknown, until it was discovered atop a lonely hill, far from cities and highways, sitting quietly in the untouched prairie. At first glance, it might seem like a scattered pile of rocks. But as you rise above it, perhaps from a drone's view, you begin to see the truth. A perfectly formed circular pattern made of stones, with a central cairn at its heart, and radiating spokes stretching outward like the arms of time itself. Who built it? Why did they align it so precisely with celestial events, solstices, star paths, seasonal cycles? And how could such an ancient society, without the use of modern tools, create something so mathematically aligned with the sky? Was this structure a calendar, a temple, a portal to the spirit world? Or is it something even greater, something that connects us not only to the past, but to the cosmos? As we begin this journey into the heart of Canada's most sacred and mysterious monument, one question echoes through time. Could this be Canada's Stonehenge, a monument not just to history, but to the universe itself? Discovery and structure. From above, it looks like a simple pattern carved into the earth, a ring of stones, a mound at the center, and spokes stretching outward like the arms of a wheel. But this is no ordinary arrangement. This is the Majorville Medicine Wheel. Resting atop a lonely hill in the heart of Alberta's prairie lands, it lies exposed to the elements unprotected, untouched, and yet unbroken for thousands of years. At the center stands a stone cairn, a mound built of rocks, layered and stacked with intention. From it radiate 28 spokes, like veins stretching out across the earth, connecting to a massive circular outer rim. The entire formation spans over 30 meters in diameter, and archaeologists estimate it to be at least 5,000 years old, making it one of the oldest known human-made structures in North America. European settlers stumbled upon it in the 1800s, confused and intrigued. But to the indigenous peoples, this was no mystery. It was sacred knowledge, a place of vision, ceremony, and deep spiritual meaning, passed down from generation to generation. The structure may appear simple, but its design is mathematically elegant. The placement of the spokes, the symmetry of the circle, the elevation of the hill, it's all intentional, suggesting a profound understanding of space, balance, and perhaps even the cosmos. And yet, so many questions remain unanswered. Who built it with such care long before machines, long before maps? Why this location? Why these measurements? One thing is certain, this isn't just a pile of rocks, it's a message in stone. A message not meant to be shouted, but felt. A whisper from ancient hands to future minds asking us not just to observe, but to understand. Indigenous significance. To the outside world, the medicine wheel may seem like an ancient mystery to decode. But to the indigenous peoples of the plains, especially the Blackfoot Nation, there is no mystery. This place is not forgotten. It is remembered. For generations, the medicine wheel has served as a sacred space, a site of ceremony, reflection, and connection. Here, vision quests were undertaken by those seeking spiritual insight. Ceremonies were held to mark the changing of seasons, the cycles of life, and the alignment of stars. Each of the 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, is represented by the stone spokes. They point not just to geography, but to elements of life: birth, growth, death, and rebirth. The wheel's circular design reflects a fundamental truth in indigenous worldview, that life is not a straight line, but a circle. Everything is connected: the sky, the earth, the people, and the spirits, each one dependent on the other. And in that circle is balance: day and night, summer and winter, life and death. To stand within the medicine wheel is to stand at the center of all things, to feel the pulse of generations past, and hear the wisdom they left behind. This is not a ruin. This is a living monument, a bridge between the ancestors and the stars, the sky and the soil, the visible and the invisible. And for those willing to listen, not just with ears, but with spirit, the medicine wheel still speaks. Astronomical theories. From the sky, the medicine wheel looks like a symbol, but from the stars, it may be something more. Over the years, researchers and sky watchers have studied its layout with growing fascination. What they found is nothing short of remarkable. Several of the stone spokes point precisely to the sunrise on the summer solstice, the setting sun during the winter solstice, and the equinoxes in between. Other alignments connect to the rising of specific bright stars, notably Aldebaran, Rigel, and Sirius, which held great importance in ancient sky lore. To many, this is clear evidence that the medicine wheel wasn't just spiritual, it was astronomical, a kind of prehistoric observatory used to mark the passage of time, track the seasons, and guide planting and harvest cycles. But others see something deeper. They believe these alignments weren't just for measuring time, they were for understanding our place in the universe. The spokes don't just divide the sky, they divide life, light and dark, growth and rest, beginning and return. The wheel reflects a belief system where everything is connected: the stars, the land, the people, and the spirit world. Long before telescopes, long before charts, the builders of the medicine wheel may have looked up and known exactly where they stood in the cosmos. Could these ancient people, without math, without machines, have grasped truths we're only now beginning to understand? Were they simply farmers and wanderers, or were they astronomers of a different kind? Perhaps what we've dismissed as folklore was actually a language written in stars and the medicine wheel, its translator. Not just a calendar, not just a monument, but a message from the universe, set in stone. Theories and controversies. The deeper we look into the medicine wheel, the more questions we uncover. While many historians and indigenous communities agree on its sacred importance, others on the fringes offer theories that challenge everything we know. Some claim the medicine wheel is part of a planetary grid system, a global network of ancient energy points, connecting sacred sites across continents, from Stonehenge to the Great Pyramids to Easter Island and beyond. Others suggest an even more radical idea, that the structure holds extraterrestrial significance, that its perfect geometry, celestial alignments, and remote location point not just to human ingenuity, but to outside intervention. Of course, these ideas are widely dismissed by mainstream archaeologists. Yet controversy doesn't end with cosmic speculation. The medicine wheel also sits at the heart of cultural conflict. Some researchers argue it should be open to full scientific study, excavation, and analysis. But indigenous communities push back, rightfully insisting that the wheel is not a puzzle to be solved, but a living sacred site, deserving of respect, not curiosity. Governments have been caught in the middle, sometimes stepping in to protect the site, other times restricting access or altering surrounding lands. And all the while, decades of research have failed to reach a single unified conclusion. Is it a calendar, a temple, a tool for star watching, or something else entirely? Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps that's the point. In a world obsessed with answers, the medicine wheel may serve as a reminder that some truths live in silence, in stillness, and in stone. And maybe, just maybe, the more we try to explain it, the further we drift from what it was truly meant to be. Climax. As the wind moves across the hilltop and the clouds roll in, you find yourself standing in the heart of something ancient. The stones don't speak, but their silence says everything. You feel it, not in your mind, but in your chest. A quiet presence, a purpose, something timeless, something that endures not just through weather and centuries, but through memory and meaning. Each stone placed with care, each spoke reaching outward like a question asked to the stars. Maybe it was built to chart the sky, maybe to honor ancestors, or to call spirits closer, or maybe it's not for us to know. Because this place, the medicine wheel, is more than a monument. It's alive, a beating heart of history, still pulsing through the prairie winds. And maybe, in a world so obsessed with answers, its real lesson is this: that not everything sacred is meant to be solved. Some things are meant to be felt, to be protected, to be respected. And as you stand in that circle, beneath the stars and thunderclouds, one truth becomes clear. The past isn't gone. It's still here, watching, waiting, and whispering through stone. Thank you for walking with us through the winds of time, across sacred stones and unanswered questions. If you felt the echo of something deeper, subscribe to Memoirs of Truth. Here, we uncover the hidden, explore the forbidden, and shine a light on what history tried to bury. More ancient enigmas, more forgotten knowledge, more stories you were never meant to hear are waiting. Because sometimes the truth wasn't written in books. It was carved in stone, and it's still speaking.